This is our lesson number 9 today in the punctuation system series, and today we are going to discuss capital letters, how they are used in a sentence or in a composition. So first of all, capital letters begin a sentence, which means that the first letter of the first word in a sentence is always capital. Whether it's a proper noun, whether it's a common noun, it doesn't matter. Whatever word it is, it starts with a capital letter. That's how each and every sentence begins or starts with. All proper nouns, wherever they are in a sentence, start with a capital letter. The second thing that begins with a capital letter is a proper noun, and this proper noun begins with a capital letter anywhere in a sentence. It's not just the start, it could be anywhere, in the middle, at the end, wherever it is. For example, so these are some of the proper nouns. For example, the names of people, places, works of literature, days of the week, months of the year, but not usually the seasons, and the planets, but not the earth, the sun or the moon. Also, these are some of the exceptions. That's why it is sometimes very confusing. So the names of planets begin with a capital letter except for the earth and the moon and the sun. Okay, so now I have given examples of each of these places accordingly. So people first, then places. For example, my teacher's name is John Field and he teaches us English. Now in this case, you could see that John Field is capital. Capitalized. John is capitalized, F is capital, so Field is capitalized. You could see the first letter of this sentence, or all of these sentences are capital letters. Okay, and there is nothing capital letter, no word starts with a capital letter except for this name, because that's a proper noun. And then we have English, that's a proper noun, it's a name of a language. So it starts with E. So what you learn here is that proper nouns begin with a capital letter wherever they are in a sentence. You could see that John Field is in the middle of a sentence and English is at the end of the sentence. London is a wonderful city. Now London is, it's the start of the sentence, and at the same time it's a proper noun. So for example, if you say I live in London, then even then L would be capital. Next, I really like to read Hamlet. Now Hamlet is the name of the book or works of literature, so I am just following this list. Okay, can you come on Monday? Names of the days begin with a capital letter, so here Monday is name of a day, so that's why it starts with a capital letter. He was born in April. Okay, so this April is also with a capital letter, it's a name of a month. Scientists do not know much about Mars. So Mars is a planet. Okay, so if we say scientists do not know much about Earth, then obviously E would be small, or the sun or the moon. So S and M would be small if we use them here. But look at the difference here. If you write a sentence like this, he is my uncle, so you would be small u here, uncle, because you are not using a proper noun. But if you say he is Uncle John, now U would be capital and J would be capital, because Uncle John now is used as a proper noun for one person. So when the title comes with the proper noun, then the title also starts with a capital letter. Okay, so let's move on. In informal, light or facetious writing, sometimes a word is written in all capital letters to indicate spoken prominence. For example, excuse me, in this sentence, and what do you want? He shouted. Okay, so the emphasis is on you. So you're just trying to say, and what do you want, means you're trying to emphasize the word you. So if you're speaking that, it would be a specific intonation. So you remember that we talked about in the beginning that punctuation system or the punctuation marks tell us about the intonation, rhythm, the breaks, the pauses, the separations in a speech. So this is one of those examples. So this is intonation, saying something loud, making it prominent. Okay, so this is all capital, but this is not in standard English. When you're writing a thesis, when you're writing for example a letter to the council, or when you're writing your college essay or dissertation, then obviously you don't do these things. You just use such type of words with all capital letters when you have a speech. If you're writing a dialogue, that's fine, excuse me. Initial capitals are used as a sign of respect when writing God and any nouns which refer to God. For example, Lord, Lord Almighty, Creator, He's the creator of heavens and earth, Supreme Being and Almighty. So these are all words that we use for God. Okay, so as a respect we use them with a capital letter. Abbreviations are used in all capital letters. For example, UK, USA and RSVP. So these are some of the abbreviations. So they are all capital. You cannot write U capital and then K small. That would mean that this is a word, which is obviously not. So capitals, abbreviations are written in capital letters. The next one is initial capitals are used to start a direct speech, or simply the first word inside the inverted commas in a dialogue must start with a capital letter. For example, she said, comma, and then we have inverted commas here, you are just in time. Okay, so you could see that the first word inside inverted commas or speech begins with a capital letter. Okay, now keep this in mind, because we are going to talk about something which is very similar and at the same time different. However, this rule does not apply to the second part of a broken or interrupted dialogue if there is a comma after the reporting speech. For example, now look at this very carefully. So the first letter here is obviously the sentence opener as well, and at the same time it is a pronoun I, so it is always capital. I am sorry, comma, inside the inverted commas, and then he said, comma. Now you could see that this is the reporting speech, or reporting clause you could say. Then the speech begins again. You do not have an appointment. Now basically this one and this one is one dialogue. It is one speech. It is said by one person without any gap. But when we are writing, obviously sometimes we use the reporting speech in the beginning, sometimes we write that at the end, but sometimes we drop it somewhere inside here. Alright, so if it is this one, like it is used here inside a sentence, then the first one, the first word or the first letter of the first bit would be capital, but the second one will not be capital if there is a comma here. Okay, because we are going to talk about a different case where we have a full stop here. Now this is one dialogue, one speech by one person, one he, this person is saying this thing. Okay, the second one, or the broken or interrupted dialogue, the second part of the interrupted dialogue does not start with a capital letter even inside the inverted comma. So you remember that. If it is just one sentence, the first one is capital. The first letter of the first word is capital inside a speech mark. You could see that the sentence starts here, but this is capital. Why? Because it is the first word inside the inverted comma, so that's why the first letter is capital. This is a small letter or a lowercase because we don't have a full stop here and it is interrupted speech. This rule does not apply here. But if there is a full stop after the reporting speech, the second part of the dialogue must start with a capital letter. For example, the elders cannot be disturbed, comma, inverted commas, the teacher insisted, and then you could see that we have a full stop here. Okay, now this one I must ask you to leave at once. This bit and this bit, once again both of these bits are said by the same person. Okay, it's the teacher who is saying that. And here in this case it was this he. For example, let's say this he is Tom, so it is Tom who is saying this, and it is Tom who is saying that as well. Here it is the teacher who is saying this bit and that, but the difference is that here you have a full stop. Okay, and full stop, and after that, I mean I is always capital, but for example if it is you must leave at once, so if, for example, if the sentence is you must leave at once, so Y would be capital because we have a full stop here. Okay, now take it a separate sentence and take this one a new sentence, so the rule applies to the new sentence as it applies to every sentence, that the first letter of each sentence, each word is capital. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. All right, thank you. Bye.